Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to WildStar. I am playing as an exile Esper. Exile being my faction, Esper being my class. Stop. I am level 14. I am at 93% of the way to my next level, so we're probably going to get it here. And we're going to go fight a zone boss. We're going to fight, what's its name? Kraggar, which is a giant rock monster. I've fought it a couple times before with various characters of mine, because I have played a handful of characters for fun. There's a whole bunch of us. You can see there's a whole raid group here on the left. The zone bosses are pretty beefy and pretty tough. Pretty nasty creatures. Yeah, so there he is. Kraggar the Earthrender, which is only level 11. I'm level 14, as I mentioned, but it has 1.4 million HP. Yeah, and we'll get summoned. Alright, you know what? We'll just mentor level 10, the lowest level person that was there. I don't really know what mentoring does, but you never know. Cool, yeah, so I'm playing an Esper. What does that mean? What is this? What's going on here? So we're playing an MMO, massively multiplayer online game, WildStar. These are all other humans, all wandering around doing their thing. My class, my character, is kind of a long-range mage type thing. So I have this blue line you can see here. That's called the telegraph, and that shows the range of my my skills. Oops, sorry about that. So we're going to be fighting this boss here as soon as we get everybody else to show up. We're waiting for the rest of our group, apparently. This thing should go down fairly quickly. It looks like we got a decently strong party here. Anyway, so long-range class. Every class, we'll talk about it. There are 6 different classes in the game. I'm not going to talk about all the others right now because I can't really be bothered to do so. I'm not playing as them. But every class can do damage. They all have a damage-dealing spec. They can get a whole slew of damage-dealing classes and amps that will boost their ability to deal damage. And they can all play as viable, you know, end-game damage dealers, which is nice. And then each class, depending on what they are, has either a tanking option for eating a lot of damage and getting taunts and you know, abilities to pull enemies away from the rest of their party and kind of try to keep everybody safe, or healing, which is just what it sounds like. You heal people. As an Esper, I have healing as my alternative, so I don't have any sort of tanking abilities, but I do have things like Soothe here, where I will charge up and then blast to heal a bunch of folks. I can also, you know, shoot a quick one without charging it, though it's weaker. And then I have a whole bunch of damage dealing abilities down here on my action bar. So that's a really interesting aspect because it gives everybody, every single character in the game, every single class, every player has options. Everybody can go full on damage dealing or go with some sort of utility. Although your gear and whatnot does make a bit of a difference. If we go look at, like, my weapon here, you can see it has assault power and support power. So your gear does kind of influence what type of character you are. But all in all, it's a really, really cool system. I actually rather enjoy that. It adds a lot of variety as you can group up with other people and you can kind of change your role and you can go into, you know, different dungeons and instances as one type or the other. So that's neat. We're going to be fighting Kraggar here. I'm going to show off a bunch of my skills once we get going. There's not really a lot to see right now. I have a stun that's really we're not going to see here because it's not going to affect the boss. Yeah, so I'll talk about how the skill system works. So you can see I got 6 skills down here on my bar. If I hover my mouse over any of them, you can see the telegraph indicating, like, the range. They're all pretty long range. I don't need to teleport, I've already been summoned. All are pretty long range. I have a massive, massive, massive area of effect heal that covers that giant circle around me, which is pretty awesome. And these are not all of my skills. These are just the ones that I'm using right now, and there's 2 slots that are locked I'll get later at a higher level. But if we go in here and look at my action set builder, so this is your limited action set. You can only have a handful of these skills at a time. Because a lot of MMOs give you, you know, way too many hotbars and buttons and keys and skills and things. Like, just ridiculous amounts. There's no way to ever actually seriously use all of them. And that's something they wanted to fix with this game. So there are all these different skills. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 assault skills. I have, looks like 5 different support skills. I have 3 utility skills, and a bunch more that haven't even been unlocked yet. Yeah, I have a long way to go with a bunch of these. Really, really neat. Let's say, you know, Soothe, it's targeted, but you have to charge. Maybe I don't like that you have to charge it, so I can actually just swap it out on the fly here. No more Soothe, we're going to go with Mind Over Body. And they're starting the fight. Oh yeah, so I can't change my build around. But it's literally that easy. You can just swap things around. Apparently they weren't going to do a ready check. That's fine, I guess. Like I said, this boss is not too terribly difficult if you stay out of those nasty red circles. So you'll see there's green shapes floating around out there. Those green shapes are going to be for the healers. A lot of the healing abilities, I mean, you saw, like, with Soothe here, and to other players, they'll see that as a big old... Oh boy, let's get away from that. Oh man, I got wrecked by that thing. I gotta pay more attention to those. Anyway, green ones are for heals, blue ones are for my attacks. I won't see other people's attacks. We're gonna have to resurrect and run back. Because I'm goofing around here too much. Yes, too far from the player I'm entering. Don't care. The enemy, however, will have red telegraphs. So in every MMO ever, and in fact in almost every video game ever, every enemy, everything they do has some sort of area. It's some sort of, you know, like a cone or a straight line or a circle or, you know, whatever, some sort of shape that it will affect. You can see these red ones here are for the bosses. So we really need to avoid those. The worst ones are those freaking red circles, because he throws a rock and then it ripples out, and it does just a crap ton of damage, as we saw earlier. So I'm gonna do my best to play and talk at the same time. It's my first time trying it in this game. Something that is surprisingly difficult in any game. So we'll see how this goes. Anyway, so my attacks, as I use them, build up this number right here. It's 5. I use my eagle, and now it's down to 0. My eagle didn't hit anything because I'm too far away, because I'm being kind of derpy and just goofing around right now, but so be it. So as I use my regular attack here, every time it connects, if it ever does connect again, there we go, 4, and now 5. And now I can use this other attack. See, it has a little spinny thing around it, indicating that, hey, you know, it's kind of a combo. It's something that you should pay attention to. So again, I'll do this. Let's get away from that. And then, bloop, do my eagle attack, and that does 700 damage. And so this attack here, if you look at the tooltip over in the left corner, more damage, so they build up more charges. So every class has some sort of mechanic, some sort of gimmick. When you play as the warrior, the one that just runs around with a big sword, you're building up kinetic energy. You attack more and more and more, and then you need a certain amount of energy that you have to maintain for a lot of your other attacks, or to unleash some of your bigger attacks. You know, maybe they do more damage. Oh, and I died again. They do more damage as you have more kinetic energy and whatnot. Really, really tough to talk and play at the same time, especially against a zone boss here, but so be it. I don't really care about my equipment getting wrecked. I'm at a low enough level. Quests are giving me equipment very, very rapidly, so I'm replacing my gear pretty rapidly and whatnot. Other than that, there's no real drawback to dying a bunch. Maybe lowering our ranking for when we eventually kill the boss. So yeah, your skill set is very important. The fact that a lot of your skills are, you know, they're called skill shots in the gaming community, in that they're not necessarily targeted. You have to aim them. You have to have skill and aim them skillfully. You know, if I charge up a heal and like, oh hey, I want to heal this person right here. If they move out of my heal, that sucks. If I see a boss, you know, a red telegraph, like that he's aiming at somebody, I probably shouldn't aim my heal at them. I should, or maybe I should, I don't know. But maybe I should. Was there another one? Man, those telegraphs are really hard to see in the desert area here.
Isn't life
We're just gonna keep doing this.
Don't worry. It's only temporary.
Yeah, and the narrator has to taunt me every time. That doesn't help, man. Charge that up a little bit. Jeez. Alright, I'm gonna just hang back and heal. We're gonna do that. And I would love to actually swap my skills around if I could. Can I do that, please? Mind over body, please. Oh, yes. Okay, good. We're going to use this instead. This is a targeted heal, so it's not actually a skill shot, which is kind of unusual in this game. But hopefully I can just stay back away from all of that nonsense and just heal people. So let's see. Where's somebody who's close enough that I can actually heal them? Oh, and then see there the boss has a spinny attack, which is really nasty. So there we go. We'll just heal. I have enough range on my heals. I can stay out of the fight a lot. This part. I say as I get closer and closer. I want to use Reverie here, which is my giant area of effect attack, and it's better as I build up charges. So, bloop, and then those yellow floaty things are an indication of my heal that it went off. So that's cool. Yeah, it's a very intense game. I'm really enjoying this so far. Let's see what the boss is at. 54% HP. Just gotta watch out for those red rings from that ripple. I'm gonna kind of keep the camera up here and try to watch for those. But yeah, I mean there are a ton of skills, so there's so much variety. It's ridiculous, and I feel like a sign, you know, a good sign in any sort of game. Oh no, I'm gonna die here. Oh, I outran it. Holy crap. Okay, dodging. Let's talk about dodging before I go back to my previous thought. You're gonna die. Yeah, that person died. Targeting people as a healer is really tough. Like, I don't like using the targeted heals because of that. It's so tough to actually find the person or click on the nameplate or know if you're within range or not. It's anyway, dodging. See, as you've seen, I've been dodging. Whoop! Out of the way a little bit. Trying to get out of some of those rings. Most of the time unsuccessfully, but, you know, it happens. Down here in the corner, you can see a number. It's number 2 right now. 2 is my maximum number of dodges. So if I dodge once, bloop, drops, and then you can see the bar building up as I regain that dodge. So if I use both of my dodges, then I'm just kind of SOL and cannot dodge for the time being. We want to stay away from that mess. Dodging is another very important mechanic in this game. It's one of those things where being able to dodge effectively, being able to avoid the telegraphs of bosses effectively, those are going to be the things that differentiate okay players from really good players. Oh, also, I could talk about this skill. So I drop these little spinning blades, and they charge up for about 4 seconds, and then they shoot at the enemy and do pretty decent damage once they land, which is awesome. Pretty good PvP skill. I've been enjoying that. And it builds up a psi point each time I do that. So if we go shoot a spinning blade, as soon as it fires off and connects there, boom, we got a second psi point. So that's pretty good. Oh man, he's doing his spinny thing. Where's he going? Yeah, and this is just kind of a pug, a pickup game. Like, these are just random people who are like, hey, the world boss is back. He only spawns once every, 8 hours or whatever, so let's go fight it. Yeah, okay, I'm game. Let's do that. Actual dungeons, actual raids, those are just going to be so unbelievably hectic. You're going to need, a lot of communication to make sure everyone's on the same page, to make sure that you're healing and keeping your buffs up. Maybe talking about like, hey, the boss he's winding up to throw a rock, everybody run. Or, hey, you morons keep standing around when he does his spinny attack, knock it off, because that's why you keep dying. Use your dodge more. That sort of thing. It's awesome. I'm enjoying the game. As I was going to say earlier, before I got distracted, I think a really great sign in a game, and it's something that you see in, like, Hearthstone, for example, is when kind of the meta game, the thoughts and ideas around, like, how's the best way to play it, when that's shifting constantly, when people are constantly coming up with, like, oh, hey, these things combo together really well, and I hadn't realized that. Like, can I click you, please? Thank you. We'll go back to healing a little bit for now. Let's run up here. Let's drop a Reverie. Reverie just heals like 9 people. I don't really know how it picks which 9, but decent chunk. Oh, okay, good. Didn't get wrecked by the rings again. Sorry, heal you a bit. I feel like this is one of those games where if they keep it balanced and they keep listening to player feedback and keep an eye on their logs and things and really kind of tweaking the balance and making sure, oh, no, stay away. Keep the game balanced. There's so much variety and there are so many different skills that are, it's possible for players to use that I think there will be a lot of good options, and I don't know that there will be a best. Like, I think the meta is going to be very fluid, and I really hope that it stays that way, which is that's a really neat thing to have in a game. It's not something you see too often. I mean, as it is, people are still kind of trying to figure out, like, what are some of the best combinations of skills, and there's still a lot of disagreement, which is really good. Alright. Kraggar's almost dead. Oh no! Oh my gosh! I thought I got out of that. If you keep an eye out down here, you can see, like, landslide. You can see which attacks he's doing. I saw that he was throwing a rock. I tried to get out of the way, but... Oh, man, that was rough. Alright, even though we're not right near there, even if they finish the fight while we're running away... While we're running back because we were dead, we should still get credit for the kill because we're a part of the group and we did participate in the event.
Uh-oh.
And I leveled up.
Really in their pants.
And you guys get to experience the announcer and his goofy sense of humor and crap that he says when he level up. Alright. So that was fun. If we check and see how we did here, we got a bronze. I think that's just because... a lot of low-level folks and we all kept dying. Pandalord got the actual kill there. Where am I? Gardenia. 37k damage. Took a fair bit, but I think 25k, I think that was 5k chunks that we took. 5 times that we died, probably. Sort by damage done. See how we stacked up. Forget what ours was. Yeah, we're pretty low. That's alright. I'm not crazy super well geared out right now, and I wear really light armor and all that. So, not too worried about it. We'll go ahead and leave that group. Did we get anything? I don't think we got anything for that. Other than gaining a level, of course. You can see, what we got from leveling up. Unlocked a bunch of new class abilities, 3 of them. A new ability tier. We can now use a mount if I had any. Oh, new PvP area. Oh my gosh, so many things. 7th slot. That's actually really good. Let's go ahead and... so here's what I'm going to do. I want to show off a bit of PvP. So we're going to go to a battleground, and we're going to stick with Walatiki Temple because that is the most fun one. 4 minutes. That's good. That'll give me time to kind of goof around with other things. So you saw the bird that I was using as my finisher move there. Charge up with my psychic dagger throwing, and then I would throw the psychic bird thing. I'm actually going to swap that out. And we're going to go with Psychic Storm instead. And you can see here, I have ability points for leveling up. I don't have all of those for this last level, but they've accumulated. I can tier up my abilities, and I can just do this on the fly, and it's for free, and I don't have to, like, pay to do this or anything, like respecking, respecializing your character, all can be done for free on the fly. Not all, not completely. But changing your skills around can be done for free, which is awesome. So we're going to do that. I have a third slot. What do we want? Let's see what we got. Mending Banner. Plop it down and it heals in an area. That sounds awesome. You could also go with Bolster, which gives you, very, very minor health over time for 7 seconds, and then also generates my psi points so I can use my other skills more often. That's not bad. I like the sound of that. Utility, what did we get? Fade Out, jump backward, breaking all crowd control abilities. So if I get rooted or stunned or anything like that. Pacify 5 foes, reduce the damage that they deal to me. This is getting annoying, so we'll just ignore that. I don't care. Ignore those. Thank you. Stop blinking. Catharsis. That might not be bad either. I don't want to spend a bunch of money because it costs basically everything I have right now if I want to go buy a mount. And then there's amps here. And this is where you specialize kind of your not your skills, not your abilities, but like your other skill tree. So where you increase, cooldown reduction or increase your straight up attack power, how quickly your dashes regenerate, your ability to cast healing spells and the strength of those, all sorts of things like that. I'm not going to spend that 1 amp weight just yet. I do have one more skill still. Let's go with Soothe in this slot, and then for 3... I don't know. I like the sound of the Mending Banner, so we'll do that. See how it goes. And it costs... that's going to be the problem, is it's going to cost psi points to plop that thing down. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. It might be useful, it might not be. Again, I'm not, locked into it forever or anything. Yeah, oh, and then did I... Okay, Telekinetic Storm. So you can see Telekinetic Storm is like a spoon shape. It's a circle on the end of a stick. So let's go fight something and I can show it off here real quick. I really enjoy using this skill for PvP. So we'll fight these guys. And it costs... It's my new finisher, so it costs psi points, and it sticks to whatever enemy I tag with it, and then it just drops psychic blades from the sky that do constant damage while it's going. I love that, the way that skill looks. It's really, really cool. Also, let's bloop, pop down our magic banner. So, just does a decent chunk of health. So this does 200 to 1,000, depending on our points. How much do you do? 270 to 1,300. Okay, so you do a bit more health. Range 35 meters. Range 25 meters. I don't know how long this queue is going to go, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap things up here. We'll probably push PvP to the next video. Thank you all for joining me. I know I don't really do this often. I'm going to do this for the first couple of videos in this series here. If you are liking these about WildStar, please, please, please like the video, give it a thumbs up. Feel free to comment. Let me know what you're interested in seeing. I'm planning on playing a lot of WildStar. Let me know if you're interested in seeing more dungeons, quests, story stuff, lore. I don't know. Let me know what you want to watch. Otherwise, it's just going to be kind of more scattershot, bits and pieces of everything. Nothing wrong with that. I'm playing everything after all. Might as well record some of it. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you all for joining, and I will see you in the next video.